everyone, my name is Erin and I am a summer student working with Dr. Carrie Finley's lab at the University of Regina in collaboration with Water Rangers.
And I'm Darla Lavallee. I'm a consultant for Pipeout First Nation, and I am working with the University of Regina and IPHRC to develop the Indigenous Youth Science Camp.
And we're going to show you today how to use your Water Rangers kit when you're out testing. Today we are at the marina at Wascana Lake in Regina, situated on Treaty 4 territory. So your Water Rangers kit is a all-encompassing kit that you can use to sample any body of water, whether that's a lake, a river, a dugout. It has meters and sampling tools so you can test different parameters like dissolved oxygen, pH, conductivity, and also temperature and salinity. So this data you can also use to upload onto the open access data platform that's available through the Water Rangers app or on the Water Rangers website. You can make multiple observations about a location and you can actually see the trends develop over time so that it's very easy to monitor the quality of your site. Darlene is going to take you through how to use your Water Rangers kit, and I'll explain as we go along. So now we're going to take you step by step through your Water Rangers testing kit. All of the information that we're going to go through is actually in your field guide. So I'm going to open this up and we're just going to go through it together. So first things first, when you open up your package, you're going to have a package full of goodies. This has stickers, it has a patch that you can attach to your cap or your shirt, it has a postcard, it also has a plastic bag that has plastic gloves inside. If you're out on the water and you see some debris or trash and you wanted to pick that up to take it out of the water, we provide some gloves in there that you can use. So moving on, the first thing that we're going to go through is when you go to test, you're going to want to open up your notepad. This is something that you can manually record all of your data on. So it has things like the date, the time, and then all of your parameters that you're going to be testing. You can also use the Water Rangers mobile app. This app does not require any Wi-Fi to use, so you can use it out when you're out in the field or on the lake, and you can add in your observations unit by unit for each parameter. So in your field guide, you have a lot of information about safety, about choosing a good site, but the first thing that we're going to go through is air temperature. So air temperature, you're going to want to take this. Of course, you can record this by just looking at the air temperature if you have your mobile device with you, but this is a really accurate way of testing each site. You're going to want to hang this thermometer up in a tree nearby the site at least 5 minutes before you actually record the temperature. So next we're going to talk about the sample cup. So the sample cup has a flip top on it, and you're actually going to attach it to the selfie stick. This will allow you to take a sample that's far enough away from your canoe or your boat or the dock that you're standing on. You're going to want to rinse it 3 times to make sure that you're getting rid of any debris that might be in the cup so that you get an accurate sample. So a good thing to remember is that the deeper that you can grab your sample, the better. You want to get as deep as you can into that water column. And if you are sampling at a river or a stream, it's best to sample upstream as far as you can. Set your sample cup down, and the next thing that we're going to take is the water temperature. Water temperature can be easily taken using your conductivity meter. This has the little blue cap on it. Make sure that you take off the little cap at the bottom, otherwise the probe won't actually accurately read the water. So you're going to want to plunge the meter into the sample cup and turn it on. And this will read the water, but also the conductivity. The units that you want to see your conductivity in are microsiemens, so it'll look like a little U followed by an S. Leaving the meter in for a few seconds, just until it properly reaches a stable number, is going to give you the best reading. An important thing to remember is that every body of water has its own normal. So you might have a lower or higher conductivity reading depending on which lake you're on. Not every lake or river has data on it, so this might take a bit of time to determine. This is why citizen scientists are so important. A normal reading for freshwater lakes and streams is between 100 and 1,500 microsiemens. You might be asking, what is conductivity? Conductivity is a body of water's ability to pass an electrical current, and this is because of the ionic content of the water. When you're out testing, and if you notice a drastic increase in conductivity, this could potentially indicate pollution. So that's something to look out for. If you get a reading of 5 or less for your conductivity meter, there's something wrong with your meter, because 5 and lower is not possible in freshwater systems. If this is the case, your meter needs to be calibrated, so just send an email to Water Rangers and we can send you out some recalibration solution. That's very easy to recalibrate your meter. If you get a reading that has a decimal in it, like 1.3, this needs to be converted by multiplying that number by 1,000. So it really should be reading 1,300 when you record your data. The next thing that you're going to want to look at is your test strips. Now, your test strips, they measure for a lot of different things, but most importantly, they test for pH. So what you're going to want to do is pull out a test strip and we're going to dunk it into the water. You're going to, once you take out the test strip, you're going to want to wait at least 20 seconds before taking your reading. Your test strips test for chlorine, pH, alkalinity, and hardness. And it's very easy to determine what the reading is. Just simply hold the test strip up against the label on the bottle and then match that square and the color to the bottle. When you're recording the information from the test strip, just do your best to kind of match the color to the label on the bottle. Your field guide has a lot more information about what the chlorine means, what the alkalinity means, what the hardness means for your body of water, and to determine whether the readings are indicating something that's important. The next test is one of the most fun. This is the dissolved oxygen test. Dissolved oxygen is very important because if it's too low, it is going to mean that the water quality is not sufficient for fish and other wildlife to live in. The first thing you're going to want to do is take out an ampoule. This is a slender glass cylinder that has a fluid at the bottom. When you're taking the dissolved oxygen, you're going to want to make sure that your water sample is quite fresh. So this might mean taking another sample from the lake. The sample cup that comes with your dissolved oxygen kit has these little ridges along the bottom. What you're going to do is take your ampoule, stick it into the sample cup, and you're actually going to bend the tip of the ampoule against the plastic, and this will break. Then the water will be sucked up into the ampoule, and we can then determine dissolved oxygen of the water. All right. Now you're going to want to take your ampoule and invert it twice, up and down. So now you can take the ampoule and compare it against the chart that's included in the kit. You can actually take the comparison chart out of the kit, and then this will make it a lot easier to compare your sample to the chart. An important thing to note that anything less than 8 indicates that there is not enough oxygen in the water to support marine life. This can be a little bit of a tricky test, so we recommend doing this in the shade if you can, and maybe getting another set of eyes to compare your reading with. Just do your best with this test. There's going to be some variation, so it's fine to include a number like 4.5 if you feel that your sample is in between 2 readings on the chart. So when you're disposing of your ampoules, we actually include a little plastic container that you can pop all your glass ampoules inside. Waterrangers.com has information on how to safely dispose of these ampoules in your local area. So one of the last tests that you will conduct is called the Secchi Disk. The Secchi Disk measures the turbidity of the water. Turbidity meaning how much clarity is in the water by how much light can actually pass through. The Secchi Disk is very easy to use and has a built-in tape measurement, so it's very easy to take a reading. What you're going to want to do is go on to the shady side of the dock or the boat, wherever you are, to get the most accurate reading. So just very slowly, you're going to reel the Secchi Disk down into the water. When you can't see the white and black on the disc anymore, that's when you stop. And that's when you take your reading. The way you take your reading is once you stop seeing the disc, halt, and we're going to take a reading from the top of the water down to the disc. You'll notice when you're logging your data, there is a box for if you can see the bottom. We only recommend recording this if you can actually see the bottom. If not, just recording the Secchi depth is all you need to do. A good tip is that when you're putting everything away in your Water Rangers kit, it is helpful to have a little towel with you so that you can dry out your sampling cup, so you can actually dry off the selfie stick. Sometimes that can get jammed if there's a lot of water collecting in the stick, so that's also really helpful to do. And then it's going to be all ready for your next observation and adventure out on the water. You've completed using your Water Rangers kit, so now what do? Well, you can take your notepad and you can actually put all this information into your Water Rangers account. This is an open access platform that you can create multiple observations about a single location, and this will populate trends over time, so you can really see the health and the changes in the quality of your water. When you use the mobile app, you can actually include photos of the site on the day that you were there. You can include other contexts like plants that you saw, invertebrates, animals, things like that, that will really help flesh out your observation for that date. It's always good to include photos of your tests. So take a photo of your dissolved oxygen and include that in your observation, because if we see that there's a little bit of a discrepancy, we can get back to you on that and provide any support to make sure that your reading is accurate. Include a photo of your test strips lined up with the chart on the bottle, and this again will help us make sure that you're getting an accurate reading for your observation. If you are going to be uploading data onto the Water Rangers platform, there's a very helpful tool called Report an Issue. You can click this button and you can include information or photos about anything suspicious that you saw on the water. So this would include invasive species, such as different types of fish or plants, and this can also include things like algal blooms. You can take a photo, add some context. Water Rangers does quality assurance on every single observation that is made on the platform, so we try to make sure that we're reaching out to people when they're submitting these issues, and this helps to make sure that we are really monitoring the observations that are coming through on the platform, so if that there is a really big issue, that the proper agencies can go out and take a look at it. If you have a group with you that are all going to be doing observations with the kit, you can actually set up a group account on the Water Rangers platform, and everyone can have access to this group and can be making multiple observations. The more observations you make, the quicker it is to start to see those trend lines appear about your site. The Water Rangers platform is an open access platform that is available to citizen scientists, researchers, and policymakers. We believe that this is very important because so much of Canada's fresh water doesn't have any data on it, and you cannot make good policies without good data. And this is why we believe that citizen scientists like yourself are so important to this movement and to the health of our bodies of water. If you choose to upload your data to the Water Rangers open access platform, just know that each observation is going to be available for other citizen scientists to see, researchers, and policymakers. This is really important because a lot of fresh water in Canada doesn't actually have any data on it, and without data, we can't make good policies to help protect those bodies of water. If you need any help setting up your Water Rangers account, please reach out to anyone at waterrangers.com and we will be more than happy to help you set that up. Water Rangers is dedicated to making sure that your experience as the citizen scientist is really positive. So if you have any questions at all, please reach out to us and we'll be more than happy to get answers to your questions. This kit will help you be an active citizen scientist and really aid you in monitoring the health of your local water.
Thanks for joining us, and we hope to see you out there using your Water Ranger kit.